For more on this story and how it might translate to discrimination in the workplace, I'm joined by John Wang. He's the founder and president of the Asian American Business Development Center. He joins us live from New York. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
So help us understand, what are the next steps in this Harvard case?
Well, I think this Harvard case is a lot of misinformation. Unfortunately, the organization, the Student for Fair Admission, is an organization, as you reporter indicated, has a history of anti-affirmative action history. And so they have filed a serious lawsuit against affirmative action. And then in some way that Asian American, they claim Asian American have been discriminated, but that's still to be clearly defined and analyzed. And I think the Asian American, by and large, are the beneficiary of affirmative action.
So then what are the broader implications for affirmative action policies, as this case may in fact head to the Supreme Court?
Well, unfortunately, there has been a history of anti-affirmative action, especially under the current administration, that affirmative action is not looked upon favorably. And so as a result, the Justice Department joined the lawsuit in this case. And again, your reporter earlier reported that 25% of Harvard admission of Asian American students, and this is a far larger proportion of Asian American as compared to their population as a whole. And so, in a way that you can say that Harvard has discriminated against Asian Americans.
But what about this idea that there's, in fact, a cap on the number of Asian American students and that they're, in fact, held to a different standard when it comes to non-academic qualifiers?
I think we want a school, I guess, or workplace as diverse as possible, and to have people coming from diverse background with a variety of strength, and not only just academic record, but then in terms of their sportsmanship, the cultural training, and the other traits. I think that's what schools are looking for. Same thing as a workplace. When they hire someone to work, they're looking not just for a person's skill in working, but then a very diverse area of traits of personality, I think, that they look at. And so, whether the Harvard School really indeed pick on Asian American students, that's still to be examined.
Now let's talk about the workplace. Talk about some of the challenges that Asian Americans are facing as they enter the workforce.
Right. I think, as you probably are aware, that these days one of the biggest catchphrases in corporate America is diversity and inclusion, because that corporate America have come to realize that diversity and the inclusion of workforce is important for their business survival. As the United States demographic changes, and that the workforce has also changed. In the last 20 years, you see an increasing immigration from Latin America, from Asia, and that also the domestic population shift, that you have a workforce, a future workforce, that's no longer the same as the workforce 30 or 40 years ago. And so therefore, many of the corporations have becoming increasingly paying attention to the diversity and inclusion. And so that's, I think, an area that we are also, as an organization, have been working on.
So how do the issues that Asian Americans face compare to what other minorities face, specifically in Silicon Valley?
I think in Silicon Valley, the interesting thing is that Asian Americans fare quite well in the entry or mid-level position. But then I think come to a senior level position, C-suite and boardroom, and Asian American have difficulty, and as like many other minority population as well. By and large, I think in Silicon Valley, Asian American doing fairly well in comparison to other minority population.
So how do companies and schools address these biases while still allowing for opportunities for these underserved communities?
Right. I think that's where the corporate America are beginning to examine what is the population, how they shift, and how the marketplace shift, because that ties directly to their business survival. Because if they are not serving the population in the marketplace, then they are not serving the customers. So many of the corporations are becoming increasingly aware the marketplace change and the population change. And so they need to pay more attention to the needs of their customers. And therefore, by having a diverse workforce, understand the marketplace and can communicate and can relate to the marketplace and to their customers. And that's where the business success comes in.
All right, thank you so much. John Wang there, founder and president of the Asian American Business Development Center.